everyone. Welcome back to the Conversations podcast. I'm Daf.
I'm Mike.
And thank you for tuning in today. How's your day been? What have you been up to?
Busy, a lot of projects lately around the house. Got a new refrigerator, troubleshooting it, getting it connected. The delivery people didn't do it right. Got a new washer. Delivery people didn't do that right. Parts are subpar. The brass connections are not brass. Anyway, and then a motorcycle. Not fixing it up. I'm keeping it maintained.
Awesome. Today I had breakfast, went to Pilates, went to a pedicure. I'm trying out this new pedicure girl. That was great. And then I went to the grocery store on the way back from the pedicure. And now we're here filming.
How about those new eggs you got? I thought that was pretty interesting.
What's new and exciting happening for this week? For me, definitely my new girls are laying eggs. They're precious. They're so small. The young girls don't seem to have it down quite yet that they're supposed to lay in the nesting boxes.
Oh, really? Where are they leaving them?
All over the place in the playpen. I don't know how they didn't get the memo. Lychee and Cesaria. Today I watched with my own eyes Cesaria lay her first egg.
That's my girl.
Who I have nicknamed Aria.
You nicknamed her Aria from Cesaria?
Cesaria is a little too long, but Aria just flows off the tongue.
It's a novel name. You don't see it anywhere.
There was a really popular television show on ABC, Pretty Little Liars. One of the Little Liars was Aria. She was one of my favorites. Is there anything new and exciting that happened to you this week or that you're looking forward to?
New and exciting last night, dinner, new restaurant at the winery. I was impressed. It was very impressive. Food was good. I hate to comment on the bottled water, but it really was different. It was good. Best sparkling bottled water I've ever tasted. I'll
leave the name in the description because we don't know what the name is, but where did he say it was from?
A small town in Spain. Or region in Spain. It started with the G. I don't remember. Yeah, definitely nice though. My favorite was the empanadas. That was a fun night.
For sure. A continuing theme that I think we're going to have during this episode is we called it because
yes, we did.
We freaking called it. There's multiple things that we just happened to touch on that we absolutely called 100%. And we're going to touch again. First off, the Hannah Montana 20-year anniversary special. It came out just a few days ago. I watched it earlier this morning. We already knew that it was going to be just a 1-hour special. It felt like it wasn't enough. They could have given us some more. So Miley began the interview saying that there was no plans for the Hannah 20-year special and that she kind of orchestrated it all by herself by mentioning in interviews that something was in the works, that she was working on it, and that created some talk, which actually brought it to life. I found that interesting. I was a little bit confused that they were doing long, drawn-out scenes with Miley's mom because Miley's mom, her name is Trish, although it seems like she was behind the scenes while Miley was being Hannah Montana and while they were filming, I just felt like the mom wasn't as involved. Her dad was literally a character on the show. So it was a little strange to me that her mom was heavily included in this special. Apparently the mom was a major influence on some of the attire that Hannah wore. Cool, but did we need a whole 10-minute segment of just her and her mom talking? I feel like we could have gone without that. As expected, interviewer Alex Cooper didn't really ask a lot of super creative or fun original questions. If she did, they were cut because I'm sure they did a longer interview than what we saw. I'm really confused as to why they didn't have some of the other cast characters, namely Emily Osment, who played Lily, Hannah Montana / Miley's best friend, and Oliver. They were like the three amigos, 2 girls and a guy trio group. I'm so confused as to why they weren't brought in for a little cameo or a little reminisce sesh. I felt like their absence was obvious. Selena Gomez was a slightly relevant cameo. That made sense a little bit. What did not make sense was the small appearance and conversation that they included with Miley and the artist that we've talked about before, Crapple Moan.
Crapple Moan.
That's what I'm coining her because her music is crap and all she does is moan. In the news earlier this week.
That's going to be easy to remember.
Thank you. Lollapalooza is a big festival. They do it all over the place. They do it in Brazil. Crapple was there. You're only staying at this hotel if you are filthy rich.
Or an A-lister.
Right. Actor Jude Law has an 11-year-old daughter who was with her mother and stepfather. The 11-year-old was excited. They happened to be staying at that hotel because, coincidentally, she's a Crapple Moan fan and she wanted to see Crapple at Lollapalooza. They're all there for the same reason, right? 11-year-old girl gets up from her table to go and see if it is indeed Crapple. Her mom uploaded a video with her opinion, and the mom said that she returned back to the table and said she wasn't entirely sure if it was Crapple.
So she never approached her or interacted with?
There was no interaction. Apparently, there was maybe a smile or a glance. She was trying to see if it was indeed her. She came back to the table, said it was inconclusive, wasn't sure if it was her or not, which is kind of funny because Crapple is like like super pale and has like Ronald McDonald red hair. So kind of an identifiable character. Anyway, a young girl came back to her table to finish breakfast with her parents, was approached by seemingly Crapple's security saying, you should not let an 11-year-old run around and harass people, chastising this 11-year-old for
nothing.
For nothing.
They said harassment?
Apparently. There's a lot of he said, she said, oh, I don't know what's going on, because Crapple uploaded a video in bed responding to the situation, saying that that wasn't her security.
Denying that was her security. Oh, so
some random man who resembles security took it upon himself.
And noticed what had happened to their not client. It wasn't their client.
Right.
But thought they'd stick up for them and harass how old was the girl?
11.
Growing up in LA as a child and seeing celebrities around, my parents taught me to respect them and leave them alone. Like that they're just normal people and leave them alone. It sounds like this girl was being respectful since she wasn't convinced that it was who she thought it was, left her alone and didn't approach her or actually harass her for an autograph or an interaction, and took the benefit of the doubt, went back to her table unconvinced that it was her.
Well, good thing that she didn't approach, because had she, who knows how.
Well, then they would have had something real to complain about.
I mean, that's not even really something to complain about. This goes back to Crapple's entire view of if she's not made up and on stage, clocked in, as she would say, she's clocked out. If she's dressed down and having breakfast or living a day-to-day life and walking down the street, apparently nobody is allowed to approach her or be excited or act like she is the character that she plays, apparently.
So she doesn't want to be famous when it's inconvenient.
When it's inconvenient, exactly.
Yeah. Do you think this could be a ploy or play at a form of self-flattery, where she's like flattering herself by pointing out that all these people want to talk to her when they really don't?
It's an interesting approach. It is keeping her in the headlines. I mean, this is...
Keeping her in the headlines, exactly.
This has been a common theme for her.
It has?
This has not been the first time she has snapped at somebody for approaching her or wanting to get a picture or
unwanted
say hi.
attention.
Yes. That makes it comical that she's trying to deny that it was not her security. You have no room to be moaning. Like, shut your mouth and appreciate that people want to recognize you and that you are in some way, shape, or form relevant, because your clock is ticking.
Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Even her fans online are saying things like, she makes really fun music, debatable, but from the very beginning, her energy never landed with me. I'm surprised other people haven't questioned that. Boundaries without kindness just feels empty. Like, she could be setting the boundary in a kind manner. You know, if she's being approached, like, oh my God, can I get a photo? Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm really just not feeling a photo right now, but I really appreciate your support. You know, thank you for everything. You know, I'm on a time crunch. I have to go. Like, be respectful. She's being aggressive and performative with it. Other people saying, I've never really liked Chappell Roan to begin with because of the way she talks about men, but this situation just adds to it. If a kid genuinely just recognized you and didn't even approach, then having security come in is way over the top. At the same time, I get artists need boundaries, but there's a difference between protecting your space and making a child feel like they've done something wrong. If this is actually how it went, it's not a great look at all, and it just makes me dislike her even more. Lastly, people are pointing out, as a celebrity, you are getting paid massive amounts of money to deal with a less private life. That's the exchange.
Good point.
I just wanted to finish with the Hannah Montana topic. The very end, she did sing a very touching song. It almost seemed like it was new. I feel like I know a majority of Miley's songs, and I wasn't familiar with this one. It's definitely touching. She does know how to put on a very soulful performance. She gets into it. She's a beautiful performer. She performed some of her old Hannah songs, which was fun to hear because she doesn't perform any of those anymore. But at the end of the day, that wasn't enough. In my opinion, I feel like it just could have been a little bit more. If we were expecting her to carry the entire Hannahversary episode with her performances, we could have just got like a little hour-long concert. We didn't need the set recreation, the interview with Alex Cooper, Selena Gomez, and Billy Ray convo. Could have gone without.
Her mom for 15 minutes.
Again, with the mom, this was so funny. As the credits were rolling, Noah Cyrus, who is Miley Cyrus's younger sister, Noah comes out and gives Miley a cake that said happy anniversary, Hannah, like very cute. But I thought it was hilarious because Miley was sitting right on like the same couch as her mom. It's coming up on a while ago, but it's still a little bit fresh to the point where I didn't know that they had worked this out. Miley's mom, who divorced Billy Ray a couple years ago, has since remarried to a man who used to date Noah.
Miley's little sister.
Miley's little sister. Trish, Miley's mom, is literally married to her daughter, Noah's ex-boyfriend.
Okay, that's weird.
Isn't that strange? And again, they were all cool and they all hugged. Like, they all said, I love you. Like, they were obviously chill with each other. I was expecting there to be bad blood forever because that is an unforgivable offense.
So the mother met her now husband or boyfriend? They're
Husband.
married?
They are married.
Met him because he was dating her daughter.
Assumably, that's how they met. I don't know how they met.
Can I ask what Crapple Moan has to do with Miley Cyrus' show or character?
During Crapple and Miley's conversation that was featured on the anniversary special, it was pretty much just Crapple saying, yeah, I was a fan of Hannah Montana growing up. I loved the show. And you inspired me to be who I am today. You know, you gave me the courage to be a pop star. Just hyping her up. Kind of basic compliments.
That sounds like a weak connection to me.
Yes, that's what I was saying. When she came out and was introduced, I was like, what the heck? This is like really out of nowhere.
Why didn't they have you on the special? I mean, you were inspired by her when you were young, right?
Right. It was so random. I would love to know, like, were they just approaching random people and Crapple was the first to respond? She was the only one available? Like, it does not make sense. Again, the Selena Gomez cameo made a little bit of sense, but like, where was the other characters and the rest of the cast? Like, get your mom out of here. We want to see Lily and Oliver and Rico and whoever played her brother.
None of them?
No, it was bizarre.
Really? You're a fan, an organic fan from the beginning, and yet you felt disappointed. Apparently they didn't provide.
Just a missed opportunity. They really could have made it. I guess they didn't want to do a whole show. I guess a special is one and done, you know, minimal funding, whatever. But they could have made it like a series or like a whole season, a whole special. Like we could have done with a few of these. We could have dove deeper and have it be a little bit more focused because it seemed like they were kind of all over the place.
Yeah. The
editing was a little bit choppy. Like the interview with Alex Cooper, they showed a little bit and had other interviews and conversations going on in between. So it was kind of just all over the place. I don't know. It was great at the end to see Miley come full circle and talk about how thankful and appreciative she is. She's truly a genuine girl, even though she has had crazy levels of success. Good to see her come full circle and be really happy. Another instance of, we called it, Trainwreck Taylor Frankie Paul, who was supposed to be the Bachelorette, got that snatched.
I was looking forward to watching that with you.
I was looking forward to watching it also, not because I'm a fan of her, but because we knew it was going to be entertaining. Apparently entertaining to a level that's kind of not even funny, because this girl, as we knew, as ABC knew when they chose her as an eligible Bachelorette candidate, this girl has assault charges that she's currently on probation for. I guess it took the leaking of the abuse video for them to decide to cut it. I just want to give a breakdown of what's been going on. A video taken by baby daddy Dakota during the domestic assault in 2023 that she was charged for was leaked, or in a lot of people's opinions, sold to TMZ. TMZ released it. Shortly after, maybe a day after the release of that video, ABC announced that the Bachelorette season featuring Taylor Frankie Paul was going to be cut. They weren't going to be airing it. The leaked video shows Taylor throwing a metal stool and physically fighting with Dakota. Her daughter was present and was reportedly hit by the stool during the chaos. She did later plead guilty to the aggravated assault, and she's currently on probation, like mentioned. We called it. We knew that she wouldn't be a good candidate. Girls who are violently assaulting people, namely the ones that they're having children with, not a great role model. Shouldn't be focused on finding the love of her life. Should be focused on rehabilitating herself and her behavior and raising her 3 children that are apparently being abused because she's in a blind rage. There's actually new police body cam footage featuring Taylor Frankie Paul that is being released as recently as today. The said body cam footage is showing the police arriving to Taylor Frankie Paul's house after the stool throwing incident to collect said stool for evidence. While the police were there, she asks the investigators, am I allowed to talk to you guys? Can I ask some questions? She then asks, is this really bad? You know, you guys are here. Does that mean you're doing an investigation? As if she is incapable of understanding what she's done. The new police body cam is after the incident. So she had assumably 12, 14 hours, maybe even 24 hours to calm down and reflect on her actions. If she has to ask the police, gee, is this really bad? Has she been reflecting? Like, are you just scrolling on Instagram and TikTok and like not thinking about what you've done and the consequences?
I think that's it.
I mention being on social media and not thinking of her consequences because after it was announced that the Bachelorette was canceled, she is on social media making negative comments as if ABC is in the wrong for canceling on her and acting like a victim.
Acting like the victim.
Yep. I will link in the description if anybody wants to watch the newly released body cam footage. It is like an hour long, so make sure you're watching that on 2x speed. Also turn the volume down because it's a lot of Taylor whining.
Whining that she's the victim, right? Was ABC aware of this video, this behavior, this crime, her violence? Were they aware of this, or are they claiming that they're canceling the show because this is all new to them and they had no idea what difficult person she was?
It's public information that she is charged with the assault and is currently on probation for that. She's talked about it on her show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Right.
It's been widely discussed. I'm sure ABC was aware of that. Obviously, they did not see the video because even though it's an old video, it's multiple years old, it's newly released to the public. I can't speak for ABC, but I don't believe ABC had seen the video because, again, they canceled the show because of the video. I think you're asking, did they cancel it just because it was leaked, or did they cancel it because this is the first time they are seeing it?
That's what I'm asking.
I have no idea. What you're asking is pretty interesting, though, because apparently the fellow Mormon wives, Taylor's castmates on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, did know that there was a video of this. Upon the release of the video, they halted filming for Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, their show. There's one named Michaela. She's stating that some of the wives don't feel comfortable or safe filming around Taylor, which I guess is understandable. The Taylor supporters, who apparently includes Macy on the cast, are saying Dakota pushed her to respond this way. In my opinion, if you're being pushed to physically assault somebody, of course there's defending yourself, but Taylor was charged with assault. So it wasn't defense.
Well, it sounds like that was the determination of the investigation.
If she is being pushed to do this, then this is somebody you need to never be around ever again in your entire life. Let me point out that Taylor had recently miscarried with a child with Dakota, and after the 2023 incident that was recorded and recently shown, after that domestic abuse instance took place, Taylor continued to get pregnant with Dakota again. And on her show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, she was talking pompously about their relationship, saying she's only using him to hook up and that there's no emotions involved. And that after they hook up and he wants to cuddle with her, she coldly tells him, no, if anything, you can leave.
She said that?
Yes. She was acting like it was admirable to be using Dakota just physically. And a main theme in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was, oh, Dakota is a bad guy. He's cheating on me. And, while we were getting to know each other in the first week that I met him, he was hooking up with other women. And it's like, well, you were hooking up with him the very first week you guys met. What does that say about you? And she wants to play a victim and say, oh, well, yeah, he treats me like I'm trash. You're treating yourself that way. I don't know how people have been a fan of Taylor even before this video leak, because she's truly just...
She's a hypocrite.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, she does not make sense.
Yeah.
If you are getting into a physical dispute with somebody, why are you getting pregnant with them? Just a really bad role model. And this was all information available to ABC before they chose her to be Bachelorette.
I believe they knew everything, so they decided to do the profitable thing and go ahead and air this show until it came out publicly, to where now if they go ahead with their plans and air it anyways, they look bad.
Apparently, before the release of the video, there was another domestic abuse incident between Dakota and Taylor Frankie Paul in February of 2026.
More recent then.
More recent. So the February of 2026 domestic abuse incident sparked Dakota to file for emergency custody over their child, Ever. Such a stupid name. Ever. Middle name True.
Oh, that's the child's name?
The child's name is Ever. Middle name True.
I thought you were talking about a timeline.
No, the child's name is Ever.
That's child abuse right there.
Dakota filed for custody of their child, Ever, in wake of the February 2026 domestic abuse incident, and he apparently has been granted that. I'm not sure if he has a restraining order against her. It's a little confusing because there's kind of a lot of Secret Lives of Mormon Wife tea going on right now. Another wife, I think her name is Jessie, is getting divorced That was announced this week. So it's kind of like all happening at the same time. And I know he got a restraining order against Jesse. Anyway, so a lot of restraining orders, a lot of
Bad
stuff
behavior.
going on. So with sole custody of Ever and with everything that's going on, Taylor canceled his Bachelorette. The Taylor supporters are blaming Dakota for this situation, but I think Dakota, in the wake of this video release, has garnered more supporters than what he had beforehand. With all of that being said, what would you do if you were Dakota and you were in this situation?
That's a tough question. If I was Dakota, how many kids does he have with her?
Just one.
Just one?
And I believe he just turned 2.
Well, if I were him, it goes beyond my selfishness. Like, for the sake of my child, I would want to make the best decision for my child. I think he should run. I would just run. Charge her with whatever he can with the help of a good lawyer. Take as much control and custody of his child and leave the country if you have to. For the sake of the child.
That's pretty unexpected.
Because there's no escape. There's no escaping women's wrath when they get a lawyer and they have enough money to hire a lawyer. That father, that baby daddy.
You are wild.
He's screwed, legally screwed.
Okay, I don't know if I would leave the country.
You asked me what I would do.
I don't think I would leave the country if I were him. I think that's a little gnarly. I'm also thinking of the fact that this child, this 2-year-old Ever, has 2 other half siblings. Taylor has 2 other children.
Yeah.
I think they've formed a relationship, obviously. Siblings should be kept together. So I don't think
I agree with that.
leaving the country would be a cool choice. But I do think he should not have any contact with Taylor. Any visitation needs to be communicated and coordinated with a third party, maybe Dakota's mom, or I don't know if Dakota has a friend. Taylor's mom seems very involved, and they were kind of supportive of Dakota in the past. So I don't know if that's still an option, but it needs to be coordinated with somebody else because they should not be having any kind of contact with each other, especially
Agreed.
if a stool is nearby.
Or any furniture.
Anything that could be thrown.
That's not bolted to the floor.
Well, in the other body cam, I saw apparently she threw her phone at him. And, phones are heavy. She's using everything as a weapon. So it's just not safe for him to be around her at all, which is obviously tragic for their child. Maybe eventually she can curb her emotions and be around Dakota. But for the foreseeable future, it's not safe.
Coming from a big family myself, I get what you said about not separating siblings and half siblings. However, in this case, I wonder if it's worth the risk when you're dealing with a woman like Taylor. And not to be selfish, but Dakota, his primary responsibility is to his child. So removing his child from the half siblings for his safety sake and well-being. Yeah, if I was Dakota, I would be really pulled between, do what's best for my kid or all the kids.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfying is this example of I told you so? The I told you so in this situation being we called Taylor Frankie Paul being a train wreck and not a good choice for Bachelorette.
10 with how spot on we were. It turned out exactly as we thought. Satisfying, but in a very negative way.
I was going to say I'm only at a 5 on this one because there's an element of child abuse. And
that offsets the...
I can't be at a 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, strictly speaking. I say 10, but I just feel bad. It's like I actually hate being right sometimes.
Yeah, this was not we wanted to be right. I mean,
yeah,
I guess maybe we wanted to be right, but not to this extent.
Sometimes I don't want to be right.
Yeah.
But
no, this was very sad.
Yeah.
So I just want to read the statement that Taylor has released through her lawyers after the cancellation. And then I want to read a relevant blind item because I think it's just really coming to show how much of a narcissist and how much Taylor doesn't believe she's in the wrong. Released by Taylor Frankie Paul's representative. After years of silently suffering extensive mental and physical abuse, as well as threats of retaliation, Taylor is finally gaining the strength to face her accuser and taking steps to ensure that she and her children are protected from any further harm. There are too many women who are suffering in silence as they survive aggressive, jealous ex-partners who refuse to let them move on with their lives. Taylor has remained silent out of the fear of further abuse, retaliation, and public shaming. She is currently exploring all of her options, seeking support, and preparing to own and share her story. So that was what she released through her representatives. Really not taking accountability for anything, it sounds like. It's comical that she's throwing all the blame on Dakota because since the filming of The Bachelorette ended, Taylor and the winner of Bachelorette, Doug, did break up. They were engaged. At the end of Bachelorette, you get engaged. She broke off the engagement with the winner because of Dakota. As pretty much everyone had been saying since the second she was announced as the Bachelorette, Taylor was never over Dakota, and it was just revealed to the public in episode 10 of Secret Lives that she slept with Dakota the night before leaving to film The Bachelorette.
What?
Yeah. Doug flew to Utah 1 month after the engagement, and Taylor ended it. The reasons behind it, I guess we'll find out when it airs. But if Taylor says anything other than Dakota, she's not being honest with herself or the audience. Any TikToks or teases that she does on social media is just to promote her season. She is not with Doug anymore, nor is she with Dakota. She just can't seem to move on from him. We'll hear their sides on the finale of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I'm not currently watching. We will see how it played out in season 5 when it comes out in the fall. Corporate strategy to keep people watching the show. We know there's going to be tea spilled about this, so we're going to tune in months down the line. Everyone predicted what would happen before the season even started filming, and it's exactly what ended up happening. No one should be surprised that this was the ultimate outcome. I just wanted to touch on that. Per her representative's statement, she's saying that Dakota won't let her move on. Girl, you just went to do The Bachelorette, and you had to break it off with who won The Bachelorette because you're not over Dakota. Lastly, I just want to read a blind item. Do you know what a blind item is?
No.
A blind item is a piece of gossip or news, usually about celebrities, public figures, well-known personalities, where the key names are intentionally kept anonymous, and the purpose is to hint at a situation or scandal without revealing who's involved. So it's like an inside scoop or a secret that isn't 100% confirmed, but there's been enough talk behind it to where it's being published as a potential blind item. Blind item that I thought was pretty relevant and ties in here. Some people were alleging that maybe ABC is going to sue Taylor Frankie Paul for lost income, not being able to use this season. Other people are alleging Taylor Frankie Paul is allegedly lawyering up after ABC and Disney blamed that resurfaced video of her 2023 incident is the reason for canceling her Bachelorette season, even though they already knew about it when they cast her. There is nothing in the video that isn't already public and in the arrest records, so it's kind of hard to argue that this was new information. It sounds like the video just gave them an easy out, and the real issue is that her season just was not good, and everybody knew it. She did not have much chemistry with the guys, and the whole storyline about her being away from her kids in Utah wasn't landing well. Surprise. Maybe don't pick a single mom to be Bachelorette. She picked someone and broke up with them less than a month later before going back to Dakota. So after the final rose ceremony, it was shaping up to be a mess with no real audience invested. People who worked for ABC are saying that it was just a bad season and it wasn't going to do well, which makes sense. She doesn't have chemistry with the guys. What are we watching? Taylor is already allegedly talking to attorneys, and while there is a morality clause in her contract, it usually applies to behavior after signing or something from the past that wasn't disclosed, neither of which really applies here since ABC knew about the 2023 situation and cast her anyway. Even if she does move forward, she's probably not going to win, but also doesn't need to worry about them coming after her for money since she didn't violate her contract and they knew exactly what they were signing up for. I would not be surprised if there's some kind of lawsuit against her, by her. I think she feels like she's the victim in the situation, like she didn't do anything wrong. She was just going through the motions.
She was being herself, which is what they told her to do.
Indeed. Do you think there's going to be lawsuits?
From a business point of view, when lots of money is lost, someone will be held to account to pay. So yes, there will be lawsuits.
But if we think about it at the end of the day, there's no like monetary amount that Taylor Frankie Paul could give Hulu or ABC that's going to make up for not airing The Bachelorette.
I think she's going to sue them. Her lawyers are going to talk her into suing them, and that's going to be real easy because
I don't think they need to talk her into it. She wants to sue because she feels like she's
the
been
victim.
done wrong here.
Yeah. And they love clients like that. Yeah, you're the victim. We're going to win this for you. Yeah, let's
just
go.
Put down $100,000 first.
Retain us, of course. Retain us and pay us for all our work in case we're wrong.
Which she will do because she's so hell-bent on being right.
And proving she's the
victim.
that,
she's not wrong here.
And she has a history of just making really bad decisions.
Really focused on proving that she's not wrong here.
Yep.
Not focused on making sure her kids are okay. I do just want to say the last little tidbit on this. In the video, when she's throwing the chair and it eventually hits her daughter, she does not rush over to the daughter to make sure that she is okay. Dakota is there consoling the child, making sure she's okay. As mentioned earlier, the show that Taylor is on, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, did halt their production filming for season 5, which is set to come out later this year, due to some of the castmates saying they didn't feel safe around her. There's just kind of a lot of drama. It makes sense to take a pause right now, right?
Yeah.
During the pause, I mean, this has happened really quickly. Apparently, there's already talks about a spin-off of the show with 9 new wives or moms The only original castmate would be Jen Affleck. It's kind of an interesting choice that they're only choosing Jen. Not that I think any of the other wives are super interesting, but Jen's just kind of boring. I mean, they're all kind of boring, but like Jen, it's just strange to me. I don't know why Jen was chosen. The other 9 new wives or moms might be interesting, but that's also a lot of girls. Maybe they're thinking that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives needs to be abandoned. I would understand Taylor Frankie Paul not being on the cast anymore. Who knows what's going to happen, but there's talks about a new spinoff with Jen, 9 other moms or wives, that is going to start filming or has begun filming in Orange County. And that's, I guess, set to come out in the fall. I don't know. I mean, Hulu's moving fast. The spinoff show isn't even confirmed. I just think it's interesting. It's moving quickly. And I think Jen was an interesting choice.
Interesting? I thought you found her boring. Like
It's interesting that they chose her because she's boring.
Oh, right. I don't think they're going to cancel the show. I think they're going to replace the women and make money on the formula that's proven to generate a huge amount of interest. I mean, everybody's talking about this show. Can't they just replace the people? Keep the show?
To finish off the pod with another We Called It, and this is a sad one, Miss Britney Jean Spears got pulled over and seemingly charged with a DUI or DWI. Information regarding the charges haven't been released yet. She does have a court date in May. On the night of March 4th, after multiple calls into dispatch reporting that a newer model BMW I was erratically speeding through Ventura County, upon being pulled over, officers realized that this was Britney Spears and did observe that she was obviously impaired. Originally, people thought that she had been drinking. Apparently, she did below the legal limit. She was taken to a hospital after the arrest site, I believe probably to do toxicology to see if she was under the influence of drugs because, like I said, she blew under the legal limit. After leaving the hospital, she was taken to the police department where she was booked and eventually released. Hopefully more details come out in May when she has her court date. Even diehard Britney fans that have been supportive since before the cancellation of the conservatorship are holding Britney accountable, saying this behavior is not okay. You know, we love you through and through, but you cannot be endangering your life and others. What do you think about this?
Britney, call me. I'll be happy to come out of retirement for your sake and drive you. You can dispatch for us.
Britney does need a driver, but I think she just doesn't trust anybody. I don't know what's going on. But
I don't know either. Why didn't she just do what we talked about in our last pod when we were calling it and pick a driver?
It's not just that. It's not as simple as pick a driver. It's the fact that whoever is on her team, I assume she has a manager or sober companion. I'm not even sure. She is being failed. There's no support system. I know that she pushed her parents away forcefully because they were stealing from her. I know she has a brother. I'm not sure if the brother is a dependable guy, but there's just situations that she should not be getting involved in, and she's stumbling upon these situations and being involved, and it's really confusing.
I feel like she's being neglected. And so whoever's managing her, whoever that is, needs to call you, set it up.
Whoever is managing her is managing her at arm's length. You know, after being in a conservatorship and feeling imprisoned and not sure if she was going to live a life where she could do whatever she wanted, I understand her hesitancy to trust anyone. In the same breath, you need somebody who is going to like physically take the keys away from you.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to say pop your tire, but if somebody who you work for is about to endanger themselves or others, you got to do what you got to do. Don't throw a stool.
No.
But figure out what you can do to stop Britney or get her to wake up and realize.
Don't get behind the wheel of a car either.
If you can get behind the wheel of the car for her and drive her safely, like that's all we're asking for. Again, I think she just doesn't trust anybody. She doesn't seem to have family or friends in her corner.
Apparently she's not able to take care of herself in this respect, but nobody's stepping up. She needs to pick somebody. But I get it. Trust is the issue, but pick somebody, decide. Because guess what? Killing yourself drunk is worse than trusting the wrong person. Even trusting the wrong person, he might keep her alive though.
You gotta hope, because trusting the wrong person could definitely lead to her premature death.
Leaving it to herself, the way her record is playing out, it's more risky in my opinion.
Everything's a risk. I mean, it's mind-boggling because we don't know what's going on and we don't know what she needs other than help. And help is so general. Does Britney Spears, of all people, like one of the most famous girls in the world, does she not have a trusted friend who can step up in this instant and like veer her in the right direction? I mean, even her children who are over the age of 18, you would think like, you know what, that's my mom. I need to step up and help her. I mean, nobody knows what's going on with that relationship. So I can't put it on her kids and say that's your responsibility. But at what point do you realize, let me be there for her?
That's why when I said she can call me, I wasn't joking. I would take better care of her than what she's doing to herself right now.
I don't know if she has your number, so I don't know what you're expecting me to say to that.
Contact you through the blog.
Brittany, if you happen to come across this, our email is mikeanddafpodcast@gmail.com. We'll leave it in the description. We love you so much.
And let her know we're not just some hack team.
What am I letting her know? What, you can talk to her. Didn't I just talk to Brittany?
Well, she might suspect I'm a hack. I just wanted her to know I'm an experienced Hollywood driver. I know what to do.
Can confirm, experienced driver. Has driven me multiple times. I have yet to die.
Good compliment.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for this week. We called it. Sometimes it was unfortunate. Sometimes it was satisfying. A little mix of both.
I think we're still calling it.
Maybe we'll continue to call it. You guys continue to watch, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I hope you guys also have a great rest of your week. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.